Have you ever noticed how some people stay with you long after the relationship has ended? You don't talk anymore. You may not even like who they are, and yet, in quiet moments, your body still reacts as if something unfinished is hanging in the air, a tight chest, a heavy sigh, an old conversation replaying itself without your permission. If you've ever wondered why you can't fully let go of someone you'll never reconcile with, you're not broken. You're responding exactly as a sensitive, relational, nervous system would. By the end of this video, you'll understand why peace has felt impossible with certain people, even after time, distance, and insight. And more importantly, you'll know what actually creates peace when reconciliation is no longer an option, not forced forgiveness, not pretending it didn't hurt, but something quieter and far more stabilizing. Let's open two loops gently. The first is the question many empaths carry privately. Why do I still feel emotionally tied to someone who couldn't meet me? The second is practical and grounding. There is a simple sentence you can use, even internally, that begins to release you from waiting. We'll return to both, and here's where it starts to make sense. Most of us were taught that peace comes from resolution, a conversation, an apology, mutual understanding. But what if the person you need peace with is incapable of meeting you there? Not because you didn't explain well enough, but because their limits are real. For an empath, that reality can be harder to accept than the pain itself. Listen closely to this. When reconciliation is impossible, the suffering doesn't come only from what happened. It comes from the part of you that learned early on to stay emotionally available no matter what, to keep the door open, to keep hoping. Because at one point in your life, maintaining connection felt essential to survival. So even now, your body may still be waiting for them to understand, waiting for the version of them that never fully showed up. And waiting is exhausting, especially when you don't realize you're doing it. Imagine this moment. You're going about your day, and something small triggers a memory, a song, a phrase, a look on someone else's face. Suddenly, your body reacts before your mind catches up. That's not you choosing to dwell. That's your nervous system still holding a thread, scanning for completion. Here's a reframe that can feel confronting, but also deeply relieving. Wanting reconciliation doesn't always mean it's healthy. Sometimes it means your system associates resolution with safety. And when safety never came through that relationship, your body keeps searching for it. And here's the part no one says out loud. You can have peace without agreement. You can have peace without apology. You can even have peace without being understood. But you cannot have peace while part of you is still waiting for someone else to become who they were never able to be. This is where many empaths get stuck, because letting go of that hope can feel like giving up on love, on meaning, on the belief that people can grow. But unresolved hope quietly drains you. It keeps your energy oriented toward the past instead of available for your life now. Notice what happens in your body as you hear that. Maybe there's sadness, maybe relief, maybe resistance. All of that is welcome here. We're not rushing anything. I want to offer you a sentence to gently try on. You don't need to say it to them. You don't need to fully believe it yet. Just notice how it lands. The sentence is, I'm allowed to stop waiting for you to change. Let your body respond before your mind explains it away. Here's a small but powerful shift. Making peace doesn't mean you stop feeling when you think of them. It means you stop asking that relationship to give you something it no longer can. You stop returning to the same emotional door and knocking, hoping it will finally open. Many empaths confuse holding on with depth, but sometimes holding on is just an old form of vigilance, a way your body learned to stay alert around pain. And vigilance is not the same as love. Let's slow this down with a simple reset you can use when thoughts of them surface. Gently inhale through your nose, then exhale a little longer, letting your shoulders soften. Feel your feet where they meet the floor. Then silently say, "This is a memory, not a moment. I am here now." This isn't about pushing anything away. It's about bringing your system back to the present. As we continue, we're going to explore how to grieve the relationship you hope for without hardening your heart, how to release the responsibility you still feel for their healing, and how to create real internal closure. And yes, we'll come back to the exact words that help you step out of waiting and into peace that doesn't require reconciliation. There's a moment that often gets overlooked in healing, and it's this quiet realization that the relationship you're grieving isn't only the one you had, it's the one you kept hoping would finally arrive, the version where you were met, protected, or understood in the way you kept offering. And until that grief is allowed, your body keeps reaching backward, not because you want to suffer, but because it's still searching for completion. Here's something important to hear. You are not responsible for resolving what the other person refuses to face. Many empaths were conditioned to carry emotional weight that wasn't theirs, and that conditioning can linger long after the relationship ends. So when you think of them and feel a pull to explain yourself one more time, or soften what happened, or make it make sense, that's not compassion. That's an old role resurfacing. Listen closely to this next part, because it changes how peace actually forms. Peace doesn't come from understanding them better. It comes from understanding why you kept trying. And that understanding isn't an intellectual insight. It's a felt release. I want to invite a self-check here. Just answer these quietly inside yourself. When you imagine fully letting go of this person's approval, what do you fear would happen to you? If you stopped hoping they would see you differently, what part of you feels threatened? What did staying emotionally open to them once protect you from? And if you no longer carried that role, who would you be now? These questions aren't meant to be solved. They're meant to be felt. And feeling them is how your system begins to reorganize. Here's another sentence you can practice, either internally or out loud, if it feels safe. I can care about what happened without staying connected to the harm. Notice how different that feels from cutting someone off emotionally. This is about differentiation, not numbness. There may also be a part of you that still feels guilty for moving on, as if making peace means you're saying it didn't matter or that they didn't matter. That's not true. What you're actually saying is that your life matters too, and that's not a betrayal. It's a correction. Let me offer one more boundary sentence that often brings a surprising sense of steadiness. I don't need closure from you to be complete. This isn't defiance, it's self-trust, and it's something your nervous system learns through repetition, not force. Now let's return to the reset tool and deepen it just slightly, because this is something you can use whenever the past resurfaces. When a memory or urge appears, gently breathe in through your nose, then out through your mouth, longer on the exhale. Let your spine lengthen just a little, as if you're reminding your body you're here, now. Then place a hand on your chest or abdomen and say silently, I release the role I played to survive. I choose presence now. This takes about a minute, and with time, your body will recognize it as a new ending. Here's a subtle but powerful shift that often marks real peace. You stop needing the story to change. You don't rewrite the past to make it hurt less. You simply stop living inside it. The memory can exist without pulling you in. And when you reach this place, something unexpected happens. You don't feel hardened. You feel clearer. Your energy returns. Your attention comes back to your own life, your own rhythms, your own relationships. And that's when peace stops being an idea and starts being a lived experience. I want to leave you with this. Making peace with someone you'll never reconcile with is not about closing your heart. It's about closing the loop inside you, gently, honestly, with respect for everything you felt and everything you survived. You're allowed to move forward without dragging the past behind you. And when your body learns that, there's a deep sense of relief, like finally setting something heavy down. In the next video, we'll talk about how to stop feeling responsible for other people's emotions without losing your empathy or your sense of self.